Hello and welcome to Dark Night Healing. My name is Julie. I'm going to do a oracle reading for you today from the Queen of the Moon Oracle deck. And the first card to come out today is Resilience. You've been carrying a burden for a very, very long time. Lots of burdens for a very long time. They've been heavy. You've borne them with as much dignity and grace as you possibly can. This is a nasty mess that you're carrying. Wisdom. You're a very wise person. You think outside the box because you have to, carrying this burden. You have to make things work with very little to work with. And you do an excellent job. Realization. You've come to realize something. Maybe one, that you don't have to bear this burden alone anymore. 2, you don't have to bear this burden at all. Maybe you've let go. Maybe you're thinking outside of the box and your wisdom has helped you let go of this burden. You've come to realize that it's not yours and you're letting it go. You have a path that you can follow that's ahead of you, and you're coming into your power, or a time of power, a time of abundance, a time when you're at your strongest. You didn't think that was possible. You thought you already had that time, but it's yet to come. You're focusing on yourself now. After a long period of ignoring yourself and almost drowning, you're letting it go. Growth. So you're growing and have been growing after relieving yourself of this burden. You're no longer concerned or consumed by worldly things, I'm seeing. The way your roots are wrapped around the earth and you're like being held up on it, like you're the trunk of this tree that's holding up the earth. You're no longer bothered by the matrix, by society, by what other people dictate. You are in control of your own time. She's holding a watch. You're controlling your own time now. You're not even paying attention to what's going on in the world. While everyone else is consumed by it, you're putting your faith in universe, in source, in spirit, in God, whatever you wish to call it, and yourself. You're trusting in your heart that it's going to get you through whatever this next phase is. Release. You're letting go of the burdens of the past. You're healing out cycles, most likely from karmic cycles and karmic lineages and past lives. You're here for a purpose. You feel alone a lot in your life. But you're okay with that. You're okay with it. I don't feel that you've ever really truly felt lonely. At least not for long periods of time. You prefer solitude. And I understand that. I always didn't understand why I spent a lot of time alone and in my room, and now as I'm an adult, I understand that I'm an introvert and I prefer to have my solitude. I really enjoy my alone time, even though I love my kids and my husband. I do really enjoy being alone and having time to do things that I like by myself. Not a lot of people can be alone. That's a big thing. So if this, I feel that this is the type of person that you are, and I feel that like that's really good for you because it's really helped you ground yourself and stay true to yourself, and really keep connected. I think it's also helped you bear the burden for as long as you did, because you would just go and seek out that wisdom and search within yourself to find the strength that you needed to keep carrying this burden. But now that you've let it go and you've put faith in everything else and you're growing so great, you have a path ahead of you. What is this path, Spirit? Tell us more about this path. Maybe you're pregnant, or you'll become pregnant. Or maybe you will have a creative birth of something that you bring into this world, a masterpiece, an artwork, a song. Resistance. So you're having a bit of resistance to this path. This resistance is other people. Nattering little birds squawking in your ear. Whatever these nattering little birds are squawking in your ear, let it go. So just trying to get you to continue bearing your burden. Balance. Time to come out of your head. You have done a lot of healing, but you've done so through the logical mind. It's now to do the healing from the heart space and releasing the emotion that comes along and the guilt. Yeah, they just said the guilt. The familiar guilt. Let go of the family. Can be the worst and most damaging thing on this planet. And I have always envied those people who are like, my mom's my best friend, and you know, our family's just so close. My family was very close with all their members and my extended cousins, but this was because of my grandfather and my grandparents keeping everyone together. When you're in your logical mind, you can make decisions that aren't emotional, and you can work through some of those family-based faiths and beliefs, and start to really think about which ones suit you, which ones don't. But there are the ones that hold the guilt that you're going to have to go in and let go of the guilt emotion. Because that is what keeps you, like, you can believe in your head that what they're doing is wrong and that they're narcissists and that they shouldn't be doing that. And your brain can know that. But your hurt and the pain in your heart will want to know why they did this to you. They were supposed to love you, right? Why would they do this to you? And that's the part you have to let go. That emotionality of it. You have to release that. So you've done the logical work. You understand that these burdens that they placed upon you and their nattering is dumb and that you don't have to put up with it. But your heart still hasn't let that go yet. You're still feeling it. And that's okay. Like, there's a disconnection, and there will be until you've healed it and transmuted it. And it's okay that you're still feeling that and you're wondering, like, I don't understand why I'm getting upset about this. Like, there's no reason for me to get upset about this. It doesn't make sense. Well, it does. It does make sense. Because even though you've processed it in your brain, you haven't processed it in your heart. You haven't processed it in your solar plexus or your sacral chakra, and you haven't grounded yourself in it. You haven't felt the pain. You have to sit in it. You have to feel it. You have to give it a shape. What shape is that pain? What texture is that pain? What color is the pain? What does that pain feel like? Is it big? Is it small? Does it affect a small piece? When you start examining all these things, it makes that pain smaller and easier to manage and easier to transmute. And you start to realize that this emotion is a physical pain trapped in your body. And then you can start releasing it. It's a very interesting thing to experience, but when you learn to understand the disconnection and start to transmute that energy, it becomes a lot easier. I actually had a friend of mine the other day come to me and said, I've got this situation and I don't understand, and I've tried to explain it to everybody else, but I thought, hey, I just need Julie. So I said, okay, well, tell me what's going on. And she said, well, I'm dealing with this situation, and in my brain, it makes sense. Like, it's logical. I don't have any problems, but in my heart, and I told her exactly this. I said, no, that's perfectly normal. Yeah, you've already processed it in your brain, but you haven't processed it in your heart. You've used this time to process in your brain from this side of the situation, but now that the situation has changed, now your comfort zone has been, so the part of your heart that hasn't been processed yet needs to be healed. And I said, there's nothing wrong with that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with this situation. And it's going to happen. You're going to be like, I thought I'm over it, but or you have a back pain or a tummy pain or a knee pain, and you're like, this doesn't make any sense. And you're like, well, I've already dealt with that. I'm not even worried about the accident anymore or whatever. And it's like, but I still have this pain. That's because the pain is still trapped in your body. You need to transmute the pain. You need to feel the pain. You need to move the energy through your body. So that's what you're working on right now. You've done all the logical, analytical work. Now it's time to let go from the heart. Let go of this family guilt. Family is what you make it. Everyone says blood is thicker than water, but blood and thicker than water is a bastardized version of the quote from the Bible that reads, the blood of the covenant is more sacred than the waters of the womb. Which means that your family that you make and that you choose are more important than the people that gave birth to you, the people who are blood related to you. Jesus valued his friends more than his family because his friends were 100% loyal to him. Well, even though they weren't, but that's what he said. He said, the family you choose is more important because you're choosing them. You want to be part of their lives. Whereas blood relations, that's not a choice. That's a choice you chose before you came here. To go along this path, you chose that, but that wasn't your whole journey. This isn't meant to be your whole journey. So, really transmute this through your heart. Let go of these feelings of guilt and the nattering of the birds, because you're almost there. You've released the giant burden off your back. It's just the nattering now because they're mad. Once you transmute that and let that pain go and just say, you know what, I'm done with you all, you're going to exponentially grow. You will come into your full power. And then you'll be able to walk onto your new path. This new path is going to be a very wonderful path. It's going to open up your throat chakra. And you're going to be able to speak your voice and share it with others. Yeah, so that's your reading for tonight. Thank you so much for joining me. You can catch me on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube. You can also email me at darknighthealing@gmail.com. I do personal intention readings as well as I have intention items and also some salves that I make for low cost. If this is something you're interested in, just message me and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Other than that, have a great day and we'll talk to you later.